Welcome to Nighteatingaudio. Hope you enjoy listening to the story. I wanted to raise a parrot, so I messaged the shop, "Show me the bird." Then I thought about it and added another message, "I like big birds." After I sent the message and got no reply, the school bully suddenly stormed up to me, eyes blazing with fury.
You seriously have no shame," he spat, as if I'd just committed the gravest sin imaginable. I was baffled. Wait, what? Scolding me is one thing, but why the hell is he blushing? That night, I couldn't sleep. I suddenly remembered the parrot shop owner my best friend had told me about earlier that morning. So, I looked for that profile picture and decided to send a message. The reply came quickly, but something about it felt distant. I couldn't help but wonder, why did the sweet and gentle shop owner seem like a completely different person from the one I'd seen online? "Can I take a look at the bird, please?" It felt like the other side froze for a moment. The typing notification kept blinking on and off, like they wanted to say something but couldn't quite put it into words, and there was a hint of irritation, too. "What did you say?" I thought for a moment, then decided to just say it straight to see the bird. I get it now. I haven't actually said what I want, have I? I like big birds. Big ones are easier to take care of. But even after I sent the message, there was still no response. What kind of attitude is that? I mean, I'm a customer. Ever heard of the customer is always right? Fuming, I sent several messages in a row. "Are you going to let me see it or not? Are we even going to talk anymore? I really like your bird, okay? I wouldn't have added your WeChat if I didn't want to talk to you." Her parrot was truly beautiful, wild in nature, and perfect for observation and study. I sincerely wanted to buy it, but even the next day, the shop owner still hadn't replied. While I was eating, my best friend Anna came and sat beside me. "What's wrong? Why the long face?" she asked vaguely. "So, how did the conversation go?" Annoyed, I poked at the meat on my plate, not even looking at her. "It's over. That amazing parrot's probably off the table now." Anna looked a little surprised. "How do you know?" I was about to show her the chat history. Suddenly, a burst of noise came from outside the cafeteria doors. A group of athletic students, fresh from a basketball game, slowly made their way inside. Not to brag, but our school is full of eye-candy gorgeous girls and handsome guys everywhere. The girls from the art department were absolute stunners, and when it came to the boys, no one topped the PE majors. Tall, fit, and ridiculously good-looking, they were walking teenage heartthrobs. Hormones went wild. They were like soul-stealing machines for any girl within a 10-meter radius, especially the guy leading the group dressed in a black hoodie. It was none other than Harry, the school's infamous top dog. His neatly tousled black hair gave off a cool, carefree vibe. With sharp, well-defined features and slightly upturned, flirtatious eyes, he was the very definition of trouble. A single black gemstone earring in his left ear completed the look. Bold, rebellious, and impossible to ignore. Anna sat next to me, constantly oohing and eyeing in admiration. Every now and then, she'd sneak a glance at me. I was just about to look away, and that's when my eyes met his. At some point, Harry suddenly glanced over. His gaze was cold, yet oddly curious, as if studying something. There was a flicker of embarrassment, a touch of annoyance, and maybe even a hint of smug satisfaction, truly worthy of a student majoring in ethology, the study of animal behavior. Anna and Harry were taking the same elective class. She told me that Harry had been super irritable today, like one wrong word and he'd explode. She warned me to be careful, but what does that have to do with me? Harry and I haven't been close since junior year. To this day, we've probably said fewer than 5 sentences to each other, and besides, I don't even like Harry. Honestly, I was more worried about the parrot than about Harry. I glanced at my phone, still no reply in the chat. Letting out a long, dramatic sigh, I stared at the screen in defeat. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught a tall figure walking past me, then stopping. Harry had somehow appeared without me noticing. His gaze fell on my phone, and then he placed a carton of milk on my table. A pair of long, strong fingers brushed past my line of sight. I stared at his back as he walked away. and noticed his ears were slightly red. My eyes widened. Huh? What does that mean? Do you actually like me or something? 2 days later, the shop owner finally replied, though her message was still kind of strange. I stared at the screen, reading her words. So, you really do like my parrot, huh? Without hesitation, I fired back with a string of yes emojis. To show just how sincere I was, I even added another message. Super into it. Love at first sight. Honestly, it really was the parrot of my dreams. I didn't expect you to like me that much. I double-checked the profile picture. It was definitely the shop owner, but why were her replies so short and dry? Anyone else reading this would probably think I was confessing or something. I like your bird, so could you maybe send me a picture? I seized the moment, quickly replied. Really, of course. This has to do with my thesis. I can't just send it now, it'll have to wait. Slowly, damn it. Slowly. So I decided to start bargaining. If it doesn't work out, I guess I'll just choose another bird. As expected, the moment I played that card, the familiar typing indicator started looping again. About 2 minutes later, she finally replied. Wait, just wait. How about 1 week? I need some time to prepare, okay? The last class on Friday was swimming. Anna and I were resting by the pool when, to my surprise, Harry showed up too. He was on the swim team. His technique was flawless. Every movement precise. I'd heard he represented the school in the provincial sports competition last year and took home the championship. Right now, he was racing against a few others, dressed in full professional gear. From where I sat, I could clearly see the defined curves of his muscular body, veins standing out under his skin, and the moment he hit the water, pure power, pure impact. Cheers and screams echoed all around. It was my first time seeing Harry dive, and wow, no wonder he's from the PE department with muscles like that. One punch from him could probably send someone flying 8 meters. Just as I was silently marveling at the sight, Anna sneakily scooted closer to me with that mischievous look on her face. Olivia, what's going on between you and the campus heartthrob? How come the moment he saw you, his face turned red? I glanced over at him and sure enough, Harry was sneaking a look in this direction, only to quickly avert his gaze and turn away. What the heck? Right then, my phone buzzed. The shop owner had messaged me again. You like it, huh? I frowned. Like what? Question mark. It's been a whole week, and she said she needed time to prepare. But I keep getting these weird, cryptic messages. Each conversation ends the same way. Let me take a look. Single quotes. At this point, I have every reason to believe she's just stalling on purpose. Frustrated, I messaged her directly. I'll come over and check the bird in person. If it doesn't work out, forget it. I thought she'd stall again, but to my surprise, she immediately replied, okay. Oh my god, what is going on between you and Harry? His ears are bright red right now. I glanced over. Harry was staring blankly at his phone. His ears flushed crimson. What does that have to do with me? The next day, I showed up as planned, but there was no sign of the shop owner. Instead, I saw Harry. He looked like he was waiting for someone. I don't know why, but I suddenly felt a little awkward. I hurried past him while trying to make a phone call, but Harry called out to me. He looked a little shy, his face slightly flushed. At that exact moment, his phone started ringing. I caught a glimpse of the screen and suddenly froze. Wait, that's me. My name, my profile, on his phone. In that instant, it was like everything clicked into place. I stared at him in shock, realization hitting me like a wave. So, it was you I've been talking to all these days? He frowned slightly, those charming eyes turning a little cold. Who else did you think it was? I stared at him, wide-eyed. Never in my life had I experienced something this absurd, looking like I was attending my own funeral. I mumbled, sorry, I messaged the wrong person. For some reason, Harry's expression suddenly changed. I turned to leave, but he grabbed my hand, his whole aura practically radiating fury. You're messing with me. Weren't you the one who wanted to see the bird? Come to my place, I'll show you. I stared at him, stunned. You have one too. He looked at me like I had the IQ of a rock, obviously. And just like that, I was half dazed, dragged to his place. The door closed behind us. I was about to ask, "Where's your parrot?" But the next second, the sound of a zipper being pulled echoed by my ear. My knowledge of animal behavior told me one thing for sure. The bird he was about to show me definitely wasn't the innocent kind. Just as I turned around, something soft and fluffy hit me in the face. Harry pulled it out of his pocket and forcefully shoved it into my hands, a tiny yellow plush chick. He looked like he was about to explode, leaning to the side and pressing a hand to his forehead, utterly exasperated. Let me calm down first." After saying that, he awkwardly tugged down the hem of his shirt. I glanced over and instantly felt dizzy. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. I clutched the little chick, eyes full of confusion. "Where's the bird? If I'm not gonna see it, I'm leaving." I hadn't even finished speaking when Harry grabbed my hand, his face full of disbelief. "Even after this, you still want to see it? You seriously have no shame?" "No shame? Question mark. Me?" I was stunned. "All I want is to see your bird. What kind of dirty thoughts could I possibly have? I'm just trying to finish my final thesis. How is that a crime?" I looked up and saw Harry's handsome face practically on fire. The words seemed stuck in his throat, unable to come out. His chest rose and fell sharply with each breath, completely unable to hide his embarrassment and his fury. He sounded like he was scolding me, but no matter how you looked at it, it felt more like he was sulking, like a little daughter-in-law who'd just been bullied, and I was the scoundrel who'd messed around and refused to take responsibility. I shivered at my own thoughts. What the hell was I even thinking? I just wanted to scream at Harry, "You're from the PE department, for God's sake. You're supposed to be a strong, manly guy. Can you please act like it?" My brain was about to catch fire. I had no idea what to say anymore. Just then, my phone rang. It was James, my senior. I quickly picked up. There was finally news about the parrot I'd asked him to keep an eye out for. Since he'd said before that there was no guarantee he could find it, I hadn't dared to get my hopes up too much. "James is nearby," I said as I pushed the door open to leave. "You're going?" Harry took a step toward me, hesitating. "Not gonna look." I waved my phone at him. "I didn't know it was you when I sent those messages, but now someone else is here, so I'm going." "No." He looked straight at me. "Whether you sent it by mistake or not, you said you wanted to see mine. So now you can only see mine." Oh my god. I really didn't want to expose him like this, but I stopped and looked him straight in the eye. "You didn't even have one in the first place. It was just about seeing a parrot, taking a photo. Why would that need a whole week of preparation? I came to your house and you still tried to stall. What kind of parrot needs both preparation and delay? You were clearly just messing with me." Harry took a deep breath, like I'd just insulted his ancestors, equal parts angry and amused. "And what, exactly, did I do to make you think that?" Just as I opened my mouth to reply, James appeared from the other side, carrying a birdcage. James was my senior in the same department, gentle, sincere, with a warm face and a calm personality that made him easy to get along with. He greeted Harry politely. The guy behind me gave a half-hearted nod in response. James scratched his head and said to me, "I called you a few times earlier, but you didn't pick up, so I just came over myself." With that, he brought the birdcage up to me. Inside was a lively little budgerigar, cheerful, active, beautifully colored, and with perfect plumage. "Found exactly what you were looking for. What do you think?" Harry's eyes widened like he'd just had an epiphany. He took a step forward, hand slightly trembling, and pointed at the parrot. "Wait, the bird you were talking about, was this kind?" Harry's voice faltered in disbelief. I gave him a speechless glance. "What else did you think it was?" The moment the words left my mouth, Harry's face went through an entire color palette: green, then red, then a strange liver-like purple, and finally, ghostly pale. I looked at him and asked, "So, do you have one?" "No." This misunderstanding ended with Anna laughing like crazy for a full 10 minutes. She said this chat history would go viral no matter which school it got posted in. The origin of it all was this. Anna and Harry were taking the same elective class. When my name came up by chance, Harry casually mentioned that we used to know each other. As soon as Anna heard that, her favorability shot up. Another good friend. So she sent me his contact info. Harry indifferently said, sure, whatever, but when scanning the QR code, it happened really fast. And since I had just asked Anna to send me the WeChat of the parrot shop owner, I naturally accepted it without question. This was fate. What a beautiful misunderstanding. I glanced at Anna. Fate. No, this was absolutely a disaster. After Anna gave me a crash course in bird-watching slang, I finally realized how those two innocent-sounding words could be such a devastating blow to a naive girl just stepping into the world. Thinking about Harry's embarrassed, furious expression and that whole ridiculous message thread, honestly, for at least a month, every time I woke up in the middle of the night, I wanted to scream, I'm such a damn idiot. Harry's completely shocked expression is still etched in my mind. I figured, just like me, he'd probably want to bury himself underground for at least 10 days to 2 weeks. But I had clearly underestimated how thick-skinned he was. Not even 3 days had passed when he came looking for me. At that time, I was heading to the lab with James, and Harry suddenly appeared out of nowhere, swooshed right in between us, and then aggressively grabbed my hand, forcing me to stop. What are you doing? I'm taking you somewhere. While I was still hesitating, James stepped forward and grabbed my other hand. The professor in the lab needs you, Olivia. If you don't go now, you'll be late. His words were directed at me, but his eyes were locked on Harry. Sparks seemed to fly between the two of them. These two could seriously star in a drama. It was rush hour, and more people were gathering round. I shook both of their hands off and let James go ahead. On the contrary, I wanted to see what this brat was up to. After James left, I asked, so, where exactly are you taking me? Harry kept dragging me forward. His eyes flickered for a long time before he finally said two words, see birds. This guy is seriously stubborn as hell. I meant it literally, he added. Oh, I've been saying that from the start, I replied. To the south of our school lies a long mountain range covered in lush greenery, with a thriving forestry industry, abundant resources, and a rich variety of birds and wildlife. It's an ideal place for students in our major to observe nature. I heard that a few years ago, people could freely enter the area, but later it was contracted out, so access became restricted. I had no idea where Harry got the car from. Even as I got in, I was still confused. You should have just said so earlier. Why did I even bother buying that bird or whatever? It was just an ordinary budgie, and a pet one at that. What could I possibly observe from it? The car slowly drove into the mountains. This area is leased by my family. You can come here anytime you want. I was stunned. Leased? By who? My family, he said. What did you just say? Holy crap. I knew Harry came from a wealthy family, but I didn't expect this level of rich. How am I supposed to survive in a world where people like him exist and I'm just me? On the highest peak of the mountain, a small tower had been built. It could hold at most 2 or 3 people, and in the middle, there was a telescope. The equipment isn't new, but it has high resolution. It belonged to my grandfather. He used to come here often, but later it became difficult for him to get around, so he rarely visited. If you want to come here in the future, just do it. It'd be a shame to let it go to waste. The evening sunlight gently spilled down, casting a soft glow over his dark hair. When Harry smiled, he looked so gentle, completely different from his usual roguish vibe. My heart fluttered. Harry, thank you, I said. Harry sat up straight, looking like he was ready to hear something heartfelt from me. Sigh. Fine, let me be honest with him. We're like brothers, you know, sticking together through thick and thin. Who's your brother? He shot back. Harry suddenly got upset. He muttered something under his breath that I couldn't quite catch, but his ears turned red again. Then I suddenly remembered Anna had said that Harry and I used to know each other. I asked him, is that true? Harry looked embarrassed and asked, do you remember a chubby boy from middle school? I mean, who hasn't had a few chubby classmates back in school? I remember now. That chubby kid who used to bully classmates. Back in school, I even beat him up, kept hitting him until he finally listened and behaved himself. That guy was so annoying. If I ever ran into him again, I'd probably give him another beating. Oh, right, what were you saying about him again? Harry ground his teeth expressionlessly. Oh God, how tragic. After that day, I started running along both sides of the mountain near our school, seizing every opportunity I could just in case Harry changed his mind one day. I wouldn't lose out, but most of the time, if he was free, Harry would come along too. While I was fumbling with the equipment, he stood next to me, pouting. You really do like bird watching, huh? I looked at him. Then tell me, why do you come here with me every time? You don't even like it, he muttered under his breath. Just let me be. I don't care what you do. Actually, you could care about me, he said softly, awkwardly stepping closer. I stared at the strong man standing in front of me for a long moment. Move aside, you're blocking my lens. On Saturday, when James came to see me, I was getting ready to head up the mountain. Recently, Harry returned to the training team and hasn't been back for a while, so I've mostly been going alone. James asked me where I was going. Honestly, I had thought about bringing him along. Having someone to discuss things with would be nice, but in the end, it wasn't really my decision to make, so I gave up on the idea and made up an excuse instead. It all started on the third day. I began receiving a bunch of strange messages. You look so pretty in a dress. Olivia, you'd look even better with long hair. I've always been by your side. I really want to lock you up. Each message came from a different number. At first, I thought it was just some dumb prank, but as the messages got increasingly inappropriate, I realized I was being watched. Damn it, just wait until I catch you. You're gonna regret it. Olivia, be careful. Don't go to isolated places if you don't have to. Harry said on the phone, sounding a little agitated. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't you. If it's not, then fine, he added. Don't worry, I'm not some kind of pervert. His voice softened, tinged with a bit of grievance. The image of that tall, muscular guy acting all bashful and sulky stayed stuck in my head. My scalp itched from frustration. I gritted my teeth and said, you better remember you're supposed to be a strong man. But I'm your sweet baby, he replied. Ugh, disgusting, I muttered. The heavy atmosphere eased up a lot after that interruption. I hung up and deleted the message I had just received. For over 2 weeks now, I'd been getting these harassing texts, but since the sender never did anything beyond messaging, I could at least breathe a little easier. At 8 o'clock that evening, I suddenly got a message from the professor at the lab saying to come pick up my report. I added some water for the parakeet and got ready to head out. Anna wanted to come with me, but I didn't let her. What kind of professor sends a message that late at night anyway? I deliberately took a secluded path, and gradually, I started to hear light footsteps behind me. I began walking faster, but the person behind kept following closely. At the end of the path, a twisted, excited voice called my name. It sounded vaguely familiar. At that moment, a hand landed on my shoulder. A sharp scream mixed with chaotic sobs shattered the silence of the campus. A patrol car drove in from the other side, and heavy, panicked breathing grew closer. Then I heard Harry's voice, trembling with tension. Olivia, are you okay? I came to help. The security guard following behind us was just as stunned. James was lying on the ground, his face bruised and swollen, begging for mercy. I had one foot planted on his chest, and only when more people arrived did I slowly step back. Tsk. One punch from me and down he went. Harry was speechless. No wonder you're my bird queen. He walked over and gave me a thumbs up. Bird queen? What the hell is that? You lunatic. The security quickly began cleaning up the scene. Harry said thoughtfully, you're not gonna commit domestic violence against me in the future, right? Your arms are twice the size of mine. Who's abusing who exactly? I glared at him. He wrapped his arm around mine again and rested his big head on my shoulder, whining. But I've got a little brother who's good at taking hits. If you need to hit someone, hit him, not me. Your little brother's really lucky to have a brother like you. I shoved his arm away. Get lost. The security guards dragged the guy away on the dark path. Only the two of us remained. The air was dry and warm, tinged with the faint scent of blooming flowers. Harry quietly stepped away from me, cleared his throat, and looked like he was about to leave. Don't move, I said, pushing him back against the wall behind him. I stood on tiptoe, slowly leaning closer. Harry's Adam's apple bobbed nervously. You, what are you doing? I didn't need to look to know his ears were turning red again. I kept inching forward. His long eyelashes trembled as he closed his eyes tightly, but instead of kissing him, I turned my head and reached out to peel off a small flyer on the wall right behind him. 10 seconds later, he was still standing there, eyes shut, lips slightly puckered. I couldn't help it. I stepped back 2 meters and burst out laughing. Still not leaving. Harry snapped back to reality, face bright red, and rushed over. You were teasing me. I was just peeling off a tiny flyer. I never said I was going to do anything. As we got close to the dorm, Harry suddenly placed his big hand on the back of my neck and planted a loud kiss on my forehead. If you won't kiss me, then I'll kiss you, and I'll make it loud. After saying that, he winked at me and took off running. I was stunned. Damn it, your front teeth hit my forehead. James was expelled. Before leaving, he messaged me to apologize, saying he really liked me and that's why he did what he did. I blocked every possible way he could contact me. A week earlier, I had started suspecting James. It wasn't until I found a tiny listening device hidden on the parrot that everything made sense. No wonder he always knew where I was. I talked with Anna almost every time I came back to the dorm, after all. And that night, there was never any teacher who messaged me. I had planned it and I actually managed to lure him out. I took a deep breath. Harry texted me saying he was back with the team, though the training camp still wasn't over. After Anna tattled that he had climbed over the wall to sneak out, I just hoped he wouldn't get into trouble when he returned. After 2 weeks, midterms were approaching. On the day I finished an exam, I suddenly got a call from an unknown number. I didn't pick up until the second call. When I answered, a childish and arrogant voice came through. Are you Olivia? I'm Harry's childhood sweetheart. Come pick me up. I'm at the school gate. The caller was a girl who had just started 10th grade. Clearly a kid, not even fully grown. Harry's really blessed, huh? Deserves punishment. The girl, named Emma, looked me up and down as soon as she saw me and pouted. Nothing special. I thought you'd be prettier or something. If you're his childhood sweetheart, why are you here bothering me? I couldn't even be bothered to respond. I just wanted to see what kind of girl my Harry likes. Turns out, nothing impressive. Well, you've seen me now. Bye. Let's not meet again. I turned and walked back toward the dorm without a second glance. Emma bit her lip and shouted angrily, Hey, why are you so mean? I came all this way. The least you could do is invite me for a meal. Honestly, I had reason to believe this little gremlin only came for a free meal. And boy, did she eat like there was no tomorrow. Couldn't even close her mouth. Anna and I exchanged glances. Is this a love rival? Her eyes asked. No, I replied silently. This is just a bottomless pit. By the way, bottomless pit also means someone who's totally useless. After stuffing herself, Emma let out a loud, elegant burp, looking slightly embarrassed but still trying hard to maintain her love rival aura. Harry likes girls who eat a lot. He said chubby cheeks are cute, and he also said my smile is really pretty, so I should smile more. Haha. After saying that, the girl gave a perfect smile, showing 8 teeth. A few guys and girls walking by saw her and smiled too. Emma looked at me smugly, her face practically screaming I'm super cute. Anna couldn't bear to look directly and handed her a tissue. There's veggie stuck on your teeth, Emma. At that moment, I remembered one of the most embarrassing moments of my own life and barely managed not to laugh out loud. In the end, Emma started sniffling and left on her own. As she walked away, she dropped a classic line, I'll be back. After Harry found out, he called me and explained that his family and Emma's were close friends and they used to play together when they were kids. But to him, she was just like a little sister, nothing more. Absolutely no romantic feelings. When he didn't hear me respond, his tone suddenly brightened, almost playful. "Oh, don't tell me you're jealous." I was adjusting the lens and caught sight of a long-tailed parrot through it. "I was busy recording it. Don't bother me. I'm busy birdwatching." 2 days before the short May 1st holiday, I didn't have any classes, so I booked a plane ticket and went home early. Harry's training team also got an early break, and when he found out I went home, he called me. "You're already home? The campus library is packed, and the professor's office is about to get trampled, yet someone is gleefully off enjoying their break." His words were full of passive-aggressive complaint. I laughed. "So what? Then what if my telescope goes missing, huh?" I laughed out loud. "Then I'll book a flight back." "Really? Kidding?" The next day after getting home, I took my niece to a parent-teacher meeting but unexpectedly got a call from Harry. "I'm at the airport, come pick me up." His tone was exactly like that of little Emma, the childhood friend. I checked the time, still doable, so I took my niece, Sophia, to the airport to pick him up. On the way, I kept reminding Harry to behave himself. Sophia was quite shy around strangers, but as soon as we picked him up, my stranger shy niece clung to Harry and refused to let go. He placed her on his back and looked at me saying, "Are you sure you know what being shy around strangers means? Come on, Uncle will take you to your parent-teacher meeting." Sophia had just started elementary school. Her red scarf was tied in a lopsided knot, and since she was one of the youngest, she looked like a sprouting potato in the line. Before the parent-teacher meeting, the school held an opening ceremony. The principal gave a passionate speech. The students on stage clapped enthusiastically, while we stood under a big tree in the distance. The area around us was quiet now, and then you could hear insects chirping and muffled sounds from the stage. Harry leaned against the tree, his quiet profile soft and gentle. In that deep silence, I suddenly heard a rustling sound from below. He turned to face me. I was startled, my face instantly burning hot. "What's wrong?" Flustered, I turned my head and looked into the distance, blurting out, "There, raising the flag over there." But Harry got even more flustered than me. Blushing, he mumbled, "Ah, what do you think?" I pointed at the national flag slowly rising in the distance. "Didn't you see? After the parent-teacher meeting, I planned to take Sophia home, but then I remembered Harry and asked where he was staying. He smiled and said, 'Where else?' 'At home, of course.' I suddenly recalled that he had once mentioned going to the same middle school as me and living nearby, but in such a big school, someone like him. How come I had absolutely no impression of him?" Hearing us talk like that, Sophia pouted and started insisting she wanted to visit Harry's house. "All right, let's go then." Harry's house hadn't had anyone living in it for a while, but the cleaning lady still came regularly. He had informed her before coming back, so when we arrived, everything was neat and tidy. The interior was simple, the furniture ordinary, but the overall style felt warm and cozy. My eyes landed on a display cabinet where a framed photo of a family of 3 was placed. I picked it up. The longer I looked, the more familiar it seemed. Suddenly, it hit me, the chubby kid in the middle. Wasn't he the one I beat up real bad in middle school? A strong hand suddenly snatched the frame from mine. "Wait a sec, that chubby kid was you?" I blurted out in disbelief. No, it wasn't." "Yeah, right," I said, narrowing my eyes. "The mole on your face, it's exactly the same. Why are you trying to hide it? What, can't accept you used to be a little marshmallow? Didn't you hate that kid?" Harry snapped and jabbed at his photo. "I used to bully people, and I was fat. Didn't you say if you ever saw him again, you'd beat him up all over again?" "Oh please," I rolled my eyes. "I was just joking. And back then, you didn't even dare bully anyone. If you had, I definitely would have beaten you up again." I tried to comfort him, not realizing just how close we had gotten. He let go of the frame, and with a small clack, it fell to the floor. Thankfully, the carpet cushioned the impact. I bent down to pick it up, and just as I was about to stand, I noticed Harry looking absolutely flustered. To ease the awkwardness, I quickly poured a glass of tea for Sophia, who was watching cartoons nearby. Here, Sophia, have some tea. Suddenly, a deep, firm voice rang out. Olivia, I like you. Harry was facing away from me when he said it, and from my angle, I could only see the way his back muscles tensed up. Ever since middle school, I've liked you. Back then, I really wasn't good looking, so the only way I could get your attention was by pretending to bully others. Even if you beat me up, I was still happy. Later, I went to the same high school as you, chose physical education as my major in college, joined the swim team, and kept training until I became who I am now. Only then did I dare to stand in front of you. Olivia, could you maybe like me just a little? Now, I stepped forward and grabbed Harry's hand, trying my best to sound sincere. I'm really touched, I swear, but I'm kinda curious about one thing. How did you lose weight so fast? I seriously wanna know. He flung my hand away and walked straight to the bathroom. I hurried to grab his arm. I was just joking. Let's go birdwatching. Harry covered his eyes and laughed. Serious now? We're being serious? The room was very quiet other than the cartoon playing softly in the background and the occasional dripping sound from the faucet. There wasn't a single noise. After the short Mayday break, Harry's training schedule grew more intense as he prepared for the upcoming provincial competition. I heard that placing in this round could earn him a spot on the national team. For an athlete who's trained hard for years, it's a huge opportunity. So basically, everyone was going all out. Sometimes, when Harry called, he sounded totally exhausted. You guys are still allowed to use phones? I asked. Nope, I smuggled one in. Before he could feel proud for more than a few minutes, I heard his coach yelling in the background. You got caught? I said, laughing, picking up the phone and walking closer. Then I shouted, Coach, he's hiding snacks in the third drawer of his wardrobe too. The other end of the line fell completely silent, followed by sounds that resembled a pig being dragged to slaughter louder and louder. Too many snacks can make you gain weight. That's not good for your abs, I teased. I hung up the phone. Harry would understand after all. His intense training didn't mean I had to suffer along with him. By the time I finished packing up my gear, it was nearly sunset. Hugging the newly finished report, I made my way down the mountain only to unexpectedly run into Emma. She flicked her ponytail with a smug little tilt. I knew you'd be here. I raised an eyebrow. What, want me to treat you to another meal? She blushed. No, I came to challenge you. That gold medal Harry's going to win, it'll definitely belong to me. I resisted the urge to say that no matter what, her precious Harry would end up giving it to me. I kept walking forward, but the little brat chased after me, saying, since we were kids, anything I wanted, Harry always made sure I got it. I reached out and gently tousled her messy hair. Okay then. Unexpectedly, that only made her more furious. Are you looking down on me? Wow. At least she has some self-awareness. A few days before the official competition, Harry's team was given a short break. The top 3 members got together. Still birdwatching. Startled, I looked up. It had been over a month since I last saw him. Harry's face had grown noticeably more resolute, his build sturdier, and, well, his abs were a lot more defined too. He grabbed my hand, clinging to me like a vine, a surprisingly bashful strength in his clinginess. If you like watching, go ahead, watch all you want. I swatted his hand away. Your image is completely ruined now. He was about to say something when suddenly a loud voice rang out beside us, filled with obvious irritation. You two don't realize there's someone else standing right here? Emma was glaring from the side, and Harry immediately straightened up, putting on a cold and indifferent expression. I can't believe Harry's that kind of guy. How embarrassing. That evening, Harry reserved a private room at a restaurant. With the competition only a few days away, no one wanted any surprises at such a critical moment, so he was extremely careful about the venue and the food. The restaurant specialized in meals for athletes, so Harry felt confident in the choice. But as soon as we walked in, we ran into another group from the swim team, 3 people in total. 2 of them greeted Harry, but Jack, walking in front, just coldly entered the room next door. Harry didn't pay it much mind. He was used to Jack's undisciplined ways. Some people get used to that, others don't. After we sat down, Emma quietly leaned over to Harry and whispered, "You have to win a medal, okay? Also, don't trust girls too easily. I don't think Olivia actually likes you." Then she stuck her tongue out at me, making a silly face. Yeah, not exactly a genius move. Harry tried to hold back his laughter. During the meal, some people from the next room wandered over to chat. Jack came too, silent as always, and sat off to the side. At one point, he accidentally knocked over Harry's water. Harry always brought his own cup for drinking. After everyone left, he began wiping it down with a tissue, but Emma snatched it up and gulped it all down. After finishing, she even proudly flashed me a smug grin. Harry didn't manage to stop her in time, and thanks to that little moment of triumph, Emma stayed hyped for 3 days until she was diagnosed with having ingested a banned substance by accident. On the day of the official competition, Harry performed as usual. No, actually, he did better than ever. But I caught a glimpse of something in Jack's eyes: hatred. Harry had a natural talent for swimming, but because of that, people often overlooked how hard others worked. Jack was always a bit behind Harry, and over time, that imbalance twisted something inside him. He projected all of it onto Harry. In truth, even if Emma hadn't drunk from that cup, Harry wouldn't have either. Athletes respect their bodies and their profession, but when Jack sabotaged his own teammate, he forgot the dream he once had. He had also qualified for the next round, but his urine test results later failed. He thought he could get away with it. In the end, he was disqualified and banned from competing. When Harry was receiving his award, Emma was happily running around on the track field, and I was being forced by Harry to accept the medal, as if I won it. But later, I still carefully stored it away in a metal locker. Harry hugged me tightly. "Olivia, now both I and the most precious thing I have belong to you." Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to hear more amazing stories.